What's up, guys? Ken Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and I finally found a motorcycle that doesn't make me look like I'm riding a kid's bike. This is a Honda Valkyrie Rune, the most outrageous custom factory bike ever built by Honda, a very limited production model. Honda lost a lot of money on every one of these made, and I've heard that the actual cost to Honda for each one of these they built with production costs was about $100,000 each, and they sold less than 3,000 of these. Actual production numbers I don't know, but and they're absolutely a cult classic. If you close your eyes and said, what kind of a motorcycle would a real Viking ride? This bike would be the first one that comes into my mind, hence the name Valkyrie. It's a very Viking name, and Rune kind of sums it all up. This bike right here, I know the complete history of this motorcycle. It was purchased by a racing friend of mine, John Furtado, who I actually ran over once at Mototown in a fit of aggression to try to get past him. He was block passing me, and I actually ended up running his motorcycle over. So sorry, Scott, but I was trying to win the championship. Whole nother story, I digress. Back to this bike. Scott bought this bike brand new in 2004. And another very close friend and benefactor of mine, Harry Hall from Hall's Automotive, a 4th-generation automotive repair shop and scrapyard. Harry bought this bike from Scott in 2007 with no miles on it. The bike, Scott and him both have too many toys and not enough time. This bike only has 952 miles on it. It's basically a brand new motorcycle, even though it's 15 years old. It looks brand new. It sounds brand new, it runs brand new. It's just been cleaned and detailed by our shop and had a brand new battery installed, and it's got fresh oil in it. It needs nothing, it's ready to go. I'd ride this thing cross country today. So anyways, Harry called me up a few weeks ago. You might have seen the video that we did at his shop. And his wife said, honey, 2 of your best friends just died recently that are younger than you, and you've got way too many toys. When I got to his, so she says, you need to sell 10 of your bikes. I get to his home house, and in the house he's got a brand new Dodge Viper with less than 1,000 miles on it, a brand new Viper truck. He's got the new Dodge Demon, what is it, 800 horsepower car, and some older Mopars in there. And in there is a brand new Valkyrie Rune, this bike right here, and 2 RZ350s, a KLR 650, and a bunch of other really cool bikes. So I picked out the 10 I wanted. He gave me a price, I bought them all, and here we are. Back at the shop. I've always wanted a Rune. I've always wanted to take one out, and I was really impressed with the way this thing rides and runs. It's got 116 rear wheel horsepower, 1,832 cc's, 6-cylinder liquid cooled, absolute monster of a bike, huge custom exhaust. Honda really went out on a limb when they built this thing. It's chromed everywhere. Harry put thousands of extras on the bike, including there was a little bit of damage done to the bodywork somehow in his shop in his garage. I don't know exactly what happened, but he repainted the entire bike this gloss black with the custom airbrush logo on here, and on this side it says the Hall's Edition NRX. It's got I guess Harry didn't like the original massive headlight that was on this. He put more of a space age, smaller headlight on here. And the thing's an absolute hoot to ride. It's set up as a solo bike. You can put a backrest on this if you want to, but take a look at this thing. It's slathered in chrome. It's all motor, and it's the baddest ass bike Honda's ever made. So without further ado, let me fire her up. So again, this is a bike owned by 2 very successful friends of mine that neither one of them had the time to ride it. If you remember, one of the bikes we bought from Scott was that KLX 195 Las Vegas special pit bike that he had about $30,000 into that race bike. So Scott's bikes are always primo. Harry's stuff, who bought it from Scott, his stuff's already primo. And at 952 miles on it, the bike speaks for itself. Everything works beautifully. The turn signals, high beams, low beams, typical Honda quality, just what you'd expect from a brand new Honda. Kenny, I'm going to take her out for a ride and come back. Do you have any that you want to add about this bike? I mean, what was your first thoughts when you saw this monster pull in?
I've never seen one before.
You've never seen one before. He's 20 years old, never seen one before. He was 5 years old when these were made, and it was a very limited production model. And you're right, even down in Daytona, I've taken him to Daytona every year. You don't see these at Daytona. These are real collector's bikes. We did some competition price searching on here. Well, I haven't seen one of these sell for under 13,000. The lowest price one I saw was 13 and the highest was 26. So that's the range, 13 to 26. The real ratty ones are going for 13-ish. The real nice ones are going for around 20,000. So Harry gave me a great deal on the bike. I'm going to sell it with a low reserve. I'll let the market determine the value, and whoever gets this is getting basically a brand new bike. So what a machine. The Vikings would be proud. Six-cylinder, magnificent Honda motor, liquid cooled. Now this is the same motor they ran in the Goldwing, so this is an engine that's absolutely worthy of going hundreds of thousands of miles before it needs any work. A touring bike motor set up tons of torque. I read the engine. They said that at 2,000 RPM, in fact, when you the handlebars out of your arms, you gotta, you know, at a low RPM, this thing just gets up and goes. So you kind of got to be careful. Don't let her get away from you. And I don't know what he paid for the paint job, but it's beautiful, and the conversion to the smaller headlight and the things he's done to it. We just put a brand new battery in it. Burns out like nothing in first gear. I can't imagine what it's selling with a set of pipes on it, but I like the growl when it's got the stoppings off. It's not too loud, but it's an aggressive sounding machine. Beautifully too, nice and stiff, yet supple ride. No flex from the front end. It's a massive chrome and metal front end. serious power here, folks. This is set up for low RPM, massive torque, which equates to spinning rear tire when you open the throttle. And it feels, for such a large bike, it feels really surprisingly nimble due to the low seat height. Very low to the ground, very comfortable for me and for a smaller person. So Junior, any words of wisdom on this absolutely awesome Valkyrie Rune before I roll her into the museum, put her on display?
Can't say I have any words of wisdom, Pops. No.
You've never seen one of these before, what would you know? Well, I know Honda put a lot of thought and a lot of time and energy into building these, and no expense was spared. And I've heard this is stats, Kenny. Honda cost them over $100,000 each to build these, $100,000. So they lost money on every one. I don't know offhand, but I think the retail was in the $25,000 range. They were very expensive.
Wasn't that figure based off the production cost?
Yeah, off the production costs. Yep.
Because they
put millions.
No expense spares. Multi-million-dollar project that they didn't sell a lot of units.
They wanted to show Honda and the rest of the world that they could build the baddest ass cruiser ever made, and they pulled it off. This thing's a monster. Yet, unlike the V8 powered cruisers, this one's fun to ride. Lights up the rear tire like nothing at about 2,200 RPM. It's got crazy torque. I'm gonna roll her in the museum and put her on display for everyone to see. If you have any questions, call us 860-454-7024. Anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're gonna ship the bike anywhere in the country for you. If you wanna leave it at the museum, if you wanna buy it as an investment and leave it here, we'd love to have it. We don't have another one of these here, and they're extremely rare and very expensive. So we are at about capacity in the museum, so we're not buying bikes right now for the museum, we're only buying bikes to sell. If you've got a classic or a new bike that you wanna sell, give us a call. We buy collections, onesie, twosie, or complete collections. Either way, we can be your one-stop shop for selling your motorcycles and memorabilia. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I am going to Maryland to a good friend of mine in the off-road industry's house. He's got a major collection of absolutely stunning classic off-road bikes that he's going to be selling us. So I can fit 18 bikes in the trailer. That's how many I'm going to buy. He's in Maryland, so it's about a 10-hour round trip. I'll be on the road by myself. Give me plenty of time to think about things and all the awesome stuff we have planned, including the Cafe Racer show that's coming up on the 24th of August. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be an awesome event. Gonna have some killer classic Cafe Racer bikes here, including Harley Davidsons and Hondas and Triumphs and a little bit of everything. We've got motorcycles, the local MC, 1%er MCs, putting the show on. It's their second annual Cafe Racer show. Here they had about 1,600 people show up at the first one, which was huge. This is their second, so hopefully it'll be just as fun as the first one. And we've got the band called the Degenerates. Sorry about that, the Degenerates. The Degenerates and Motorcycles. That's the combo. And we have a warm-up band too. At the event, we're gonna have the Hooligan Hill Climb. We're gonna have the Show and Shine. We've got trophies for the show bikes. We'll have the Pro Hill Climb in the back. And of course, the motorcycle museum is open, both floors. We're going over Fat Boy Drive, over the Kissing Bridge, Route 66, Rockville, Connecticut. That's Kenny's house up there. Goes in the Bixby house. That's about it, folks. Up next is the Top Gun 1984 Kawasaki Ninja 900. Gonna take that for a ride. Definitely had the best job in the world. Stay tuned, and God bless America.